What's up, people? Welcome back to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Hope everyone is doing well on this Saturday. Hope you've got some really nice things planned for the weekend. As always, we've got a really big show for you this morning, so do smash a like on the video. Do get involved in the live chat. We will be reading out some comments a little bit later on. This is the morning show, so it's a 1 hour one. We will try and make it as interactive as possible, so do get involved if you have any discussions you want to talk about. Right, let's have a quick overview of what we'll be covering on the show this morning. So, we're going to be talking, of course, about Onana, which is the hot topic of the moment. We've got some new updates on the Onana situation. We're going to be talking a little bit about the sale in the second half of the show, so please hold on till the second half of the show. The first half, we will be going through all the news and all the other bits, but in the second half, we will be talking about the sale. We'll also be talking about Rasmus Hoyland. We've got some more updates on Rasmus. We're going to be talking about Min-jae as well, which unfortunately we've got some bad news to bring you. We're going to be talking about a potential bid for Frimpong. Now, this is a player that has gone a bit quiet, hasn't it? We haven't heard anything about Frimpong for quite a long time, but there is a story coming out this morning that which we will jump into in a minute surrounding Jeremy Frimpong, the right back, who I know a lot of you really wanted to see at Manchester United. So we will be talking about that one. Let's start off the video with Onana. That's the hot topic at the moment. Everybody's saying, when are we going to get the here we go, Kieran? When are we going to get it? I thought it was going to be last night. I really did. I really hoped we'd get the here we go for Onana last night, but we didn't get it. You know, a bit frustrating, but we have got some updates that I want to bring to you quickly on Onana. So, it's been reported that yesterday Manchester United and Onana met in Amsterdam to discuss the details of the contract. Personal terms are already said to have been agreed, but they did meet. So Onana put up an Instagram story of him in Amsterdam yesterday. It's believed that it was being reported that him and Manchester United met yesterday in Amsterdam to discuss some minor details. And Fabrizio Romano, as you guys know, all said that he believed the deal will be concluded by the end of next week. So by this time next week, Onana will be a Manchester United player. We're simply just waiting for the here we go. The fee is believed to be £40 million guaranteed plus £5 million in add-ons, which I think is an absolutely incredible fee. So I'm super happy about that. Let me know in the live chat and in the comments how you feel about the Onana deal. £45 million, that's what's being reported. Welcome all the people in the chat, Fred, Jackie, Tim. Hope everyone is doing well this morning. Yeah, 45 million, 40 guaranteed, plus 5 in add-ons. I think it's a great deal. Very excited about that one. And of course, as always, as soon as we get the here we go, as soon as we get the confirmation that you know, that he's coming to the club, we will of course go live. So if you are new, do subscribe, do hit the notification bell, and as soon as we get that confirmation, we will of course bring that to you. So yeah, I'm very excited about that one, guys, as you can probably all tell. Let's have a look. So Onana is simply just a waiting game. I do think that deal will be done. I do think it's imminent. Fabrizio Romano said by the end of the week he'll be a Manchester United player, so we've got to be a little bit patient with that one. I assume they're just trying to finalise the structure of the deal, all the rest of it, but it will happen, guys. So we will get our second signing of the summer, I think, within the next few days. I think we'll probably get the here we go either today or tomorrow, and then we'll have all of the pictures of him in the shirt and the medical kind of next week. I think that's what will happen. Obviously, our first pre-season match begins on Wednesday, guys. We play Leeds on Wednesday, so we will be doing a watch along for that game, guys. I think it's about 3 o'clock UK time this Wednesday, the first pre-season match of the season against Leeds. I think it's in Dublin, maybe. It'll be the first time we see Mason Mount in a United shirt. So yeah, that's one to be really excited about. This coming Wednesday, Manchester United versus Leeds. First game of the pre-season tour, and we will be doing a watch-along. So if you do like watch-alongs, if you are interested, then obviously you know what to do. We'll see you on that one. Right, let's move on to the next story. Start the show with positivity. I like to be positive on a Saturday morning, guys. You know, I think it's going to be a very positive show. I think you're going to like my take on the Takeover stuff. So yeah, I'm feeling positive today, guys. Going to have a good day. Manchester United are making me feel happy at the moment. Right, let's move on to some outgoings, because I know a lot of you are saying, get rid of Maguire, get rid of Scott McTominay, blah, blah, blah. So we've had a story come out from The Independent this morning in the UK, which is a UK newspaper. And they're saying that the Manchester United manager, Erik ten Hag, is intent on offloading Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, Jadon Sancho, and Fred in the next 2 weeks. So coming in from the Independent today, Erik ten Hag wants to get rid of, in the next 2 weeks, Harry Maguire, McTominay, Jadon Sancho, and Fred. I mean, how does everyone feel about that, those 4 players? Would you be upset if any of them leave, or would you be happy for them to go? Anybody who just missed that, it's Maguire, Fred, McTominay, and Jadon Sancho. I mean, me personally, I probably would be quite happy if all 4 of those players went, because what? You'd get 20-30 for Maguire, 20-30 for McTominay, probably 50 for Sancho, and then 20-30 for Fred. I mean, that's potentially £100 million worth of players right there. That's amazing, isn't it? £100 million through the door. I'd be absolutely buzzing with that. So let's hope that the Manchester United recruitment team can do their job. And then hopefully some of those players leave the club. Just a quick one, guys. If everybody watching could smash a like on the video, it doesn't cost any money. We've got a target of 200 likes by the end of the video. So please do smash a like if you are just joining now. We will jump into some comments in a minute, but I'm just going to rattle through the news just so we can, focus on the news, and then we'll come to comments and then etc. And we will be talking about the takeover in the second half of the show. It's an hour-long show this morning. First half an hour is going to be about news, transfers. Second half will be about takeover and questions and all the rest of it. But anybody just joining in the last few minutes, the Independent in the UK are saying Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag is intent on offloading Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, Jadon Sancho, and Fred in the next 2 weeks. If we can get that done, I'll be absolutely buzzing, guys. I really, really will. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed this new Matt Hargreaves guy, who's our chief negotiator, can start getting some people out of the club, because I think that's really important. I do. I've said that multiple times, guys. Right, let's move on to this other story, which is really, really positive. So this is coming from Plettigol, who is, I believe, a German journalist. He's very close to Bayern Munich. He's really good around the Bundesliga, okay? And Plettigol says Manchester United are still closely monitoring Jeremy Frimpong's situation, who is valued at £35 million. The next steps depend on Manchester United's ownership situation. So Manchester United are still closely monitoring Jeremy Frimpong, who obviously plays for Bayern Leverkusen. Very, very good player. I believe he's a right back, isn't he? He's obviously Dutch, plays for Bayern Leverkusen. We were in for him last summer, weren't we? We didn't get him in the end. But I think he would be a quality signing. I really, really do. Let me know in the live chat what you think about Jeremy Frimpong. Because the way I see it, Dalot can play left back or right back. Okay? So he's versatile. Luke Shaw can play as a centre back. So say you sold Harry Maguire, right? You then have Luke Shaw as the backup centre back. You keep him as the first choice left back. But if you did need somebody to play at centre back, then you have Luke Shaw. So I don't know who would leave the club for Jeremy Frimpong, because I don't want Wan-Bissaka to leave, to be honest with you. I really, really like Wan-Bissaka. But yeah, let me know in the live chat and in the comments what you think about Jeremy Frimpong. So Plettigol is reporting that we are still closely monitoring Jeremy Frimpong. And if the sales situation progresses, we will look to, make that interest more serious. And a fee of around £35 million is being reported. I do think he's a good player. I really, really do. I do like him. I just don't know who he would sell or whose place he would take, because I do like Wan-Bissaka. Dalot, I do like. I'm not sure if Dalot's going to be world class, though. What does everybody think about Dalot and Wan-Bissaka? Are you happy with the current right back situations? Let me know in the live chat and in the comment section. I do quite like Wan-Bissaka and I do quite like Dalot, but they're not world class, either of them. Wan-Bissaka's a world class defender, but he's not great going forward. Dalot is kind of goodish at going forward and goodish as a defender. He's kind of not amazing at either, in my opinion. Whereas Frimpong is a very, very attacking right back. He's way more attacking than being a defender. But I think he'd be a good option. I do like him. Dalot is still very, very young, you've got to remember. I think Dalot is 20 years of age, I think. So he still is very young and he can develop and get a lot better. Yeah, oh, and he's not. Wow. I thought Dalot was only 20. He's 24 years old now, Dalot. I always thought he was really young, but he's not that young, is he? But yeah, so let's move on to the next bit of news. Just a quick one, guys. We are about 50 subscribers away from 3,000 subscribers. That is incredible. We only started the channel 4 weeks ago, so massive shouts out to everybody who has been in this community so far. If you are new, please do subscribe. Let's try and hit 3,000 by the end of the video. That would be an amazing achievement, wouldn't it? We go live at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. every day, and if there's ever any breaking news throughout the day, we also go live. So do get involved in the community. Subscribing doesn't cost any money, so why would you not do it? Right, let's see if we can hit that by the end of the video, guys. 3,000 subscribers by the end of the video. We're about 50 away, so yeah, let's do everything we can to do it. Right, let's move on to the next bit of news. Do keep letting me know what you think about the right-back situation. Are you happy with Dalot? Are you happy with Wan-Bissaka? Or do you think we should go all out for Jeremy Frimpong? That's what's being reported. Ten Hag really likes the player. Obviously, he's Dutch. Ten Hag knows him well. I think he'd be a good option, but it's not an imminent one, okay, guys? The Frimpong situation seems to only be something that will happen if the takeover happens, okay? That's what's being reported anyway. I hope that Wan-Bissaka stays because I think he deserves to stay. I really, really do. I really like Wan-Bissaka. I think he had a great second half of the season. I think he's a quality player, so I will be upset if Wan-Bissaka leaves the club. Right, let's move on to some more news stories. Okay, we've gone from lots and lots of positive to a slightly negative one, but I don't think any of you guys are going to be surprised. So, Fabrizio Romano was reporting last night that Kim Min-jae has completed his medical test at Bayern Munich. The deal is completed on player side. Bayern Munich will now trigger the release clause of 50 million euros. So it does look like Kim Min-jae is going to Bayern. I know we haven't spoke about him in a very long time, but we were linked to Kim Min-jae so heavily, weren't we, at the beginning of the transfer window? He looked like he was almost definitely coming to the club. But Fabrizio Romano is reporting that Kim Min-jae has completed his medical at Bayern Munich and he will become a Bayern Munich signing. But I don't know. I'm not that upset about it, to be completely honest with you guys. I do like Kim Min-jae, but I'm happy with our centre-back options. I really, really am. I think if Maguire goes, and then we have Lindelof, Martinez, Varane, and then Luke Shaw as a fourth one, I think that's really, really good. Anybody asking about takeover stuff? We always tend to talk about takeover in the second half of the show. I'm trying to not let takeover dominate every single show. So we will be talking about the takeover, but in the second half an hour of the show. The first half an hour, I always try and focus on the news, on transfer stuff, on positivity. And then in the second half, we can talk about takeover and answer some questions and all the rest of it. So yeah, second half of the show will be takeover. First half of the show will be transfers and all the rest of it. I hope that's all right, guys. I hope you're happy with that. I just think it makes the structure a little bit better. But yeah, anybody who just missed that, Kim Min-jae has officially completed his medical at Bayern. He will become a Bayern Munich player. So we will not be getting Kim Min-jae, guys. We won't. But I'm okay with that. I am. I'm happy with our centre-back options. Even if Maguire goes, I'm happy with our centre-back options. Lindelof, Varane, Martinez are all really good players. And Luke Shaw did a really good job as a centre-back, so I'm happy. And there must be some good youth players we can start bringing through. There must be. Like, I really do want to see some youth players getting a bit of a chance this season. Because last season, I understand that we needed to just get through the season and you didn't want to throw youth players in. But I would like to see a couple of youth players getting a bit of a chance this coming season, especially Kobe Mainoo. I think he looks incredible. I'm really, really excited about Kobe Mainoo, guys. I hope he gets some game time because I think he's a quality player. I really, really do. So anyway, let's move on to the next story, guys. Let's have a look. Right, I will check out some live chats in a little bit, guys. So do give me a bit of time. All right, so we've got a bit more of an update on the Onana situation as well, guys. So Inter Milan will immediately make a formal offer for Hugo Lloris as the Onana replacement. So I know this isn't directly our club, but Inter Milan are about to make an offer for Hugo Lloris, and Hugo Lloris will be the new Inter Milan goalkeeper. So this is coming from L'Equipe in France. Inter Milan have already sorted out their replacement. It will be Hugo Lloris. That's the new goalkeeper for Inter Milan. So that's positive. It clearly shows that this Onana deal is going to happen. They're clearly progressing it well. So yeah, it's very, very positive. Yeah, I'm happy about it. I'm happy. I think it's a great move. So yeah, let's move on to the next piece of news this morning. Right, we've talked about the sales, which I think is good, and we're also going to talk a little bit about Rasmus Hoyland. So there's another story coming in this morning from, this is coming in from The Guardian in the UK, again, saying that talks are progressing between Manchester United and Atalanta for the signing of Rasmus Hoyland. And we're believed that a fee of £50 million will be initially offered to Atalanta. So £50 million. There might be some add-ons on that. That's what's being reported this morning from The Guardian. I know we briefly touched on this yesterday. But yeah, £50 million, that's what's being reported. That will be, I think, our next offer we put in. I think it will be before we put in a bid for Amrabat. I think we'll go for Rasmus Hoyland. And I do hope that we get him on the pre-season tour. I really, really do. I think he's essential to what Erik ten Hag wants to do. He's wanted him for the whole of this transfer window. Really, really excited about that. We will get the Onana deal done first, and then we will go for Rasmus Hoyland. That's what's being reported. So I do expect to hear some more news around Rasmus in the next coming days. Manchester United are already holding talks with Atalanta. They're discussing the structure of the deal, the fee, etc., etc. So the talks are advancing very quickly. The fact that they're already talking about the structure of the deal, so that's, you know, whether you pay 10 million up front, 20 million up front, etc., etc. Like, you don't talk about those types of things unless you've loosely agreed a fee, because otherwise it's completely hypothetical, isn't it? So that's really positive. Anybody who missed the show yesterday, it's being reported that Mason Greenwood looks like he's going to go on loan to Atalanta, which again I think is a really, really good move for him. Mason will go on loan to Atalanta, and then we'll bring Rasmus Hoyland in for around £50 million. But yeah, I think that's positive, guys. I'm really happy about that. Hopefully we get Rasmus on that pre-season tour to America, because I do really think that's important. Just to clarify, Mason Greenwood will be going on loan. Okay, it'll be a season-long loan. He's not going to be sold. That's what's being reported, that it will be a season-long loan. Erik ten Hag believes to still want to keep Mason Greenwood at the club, but it doesn't look like he will play for Manchester United this season. Right, let's move on to the next piece of news, guys. We're going to talk quickly about the goalkeeper situation, because Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Zion Suzuki from the Ura Red Diamonds is a concrete possibility for Manchester United as a second choice goalkeeper. There have already been contacts. So if anybody missed this one probably went under the radar. So there's this 20-year-old goalkeeper who plays in the Japanese league. I've seen a few videos of him, and he looks quite similar distribution-wise, attributes-wise to Onana. He's good at passing out from the back. He's good at, kicking the ball, etc., etc. So we've been heavily linked to this guy. A fee is believed to be around £5 million is what they'd want. I don't think a bid's gone in yet, but it does look like Manchester United will be getting a second goalkeeper, because obviously Min-jae, Dean Henderson, and David De Gea look like they will be leaving the club. So I don't think we'll have David De Gea at the club next season. I think he'll be gone now. I think it's the best decision for him. I think he'll probably go off and play in Saudi Arabia. As Manchester United are looking for a second goalkeeper. They are. So yeah, I think it's positive. I really, really do. I'm excited about it. It's exciting to bring through young players. Mason Mount, 24 years of age. Rasmus Hoyland, 20 years of age. Onana, 26 years of age. This new goalkeeper, 20 years of age. Like, we're bringing people through for the future, which I think is really, really exciting. We've had a really bad habit over the last kind of 10 or so years of bringing in players in the twilight of their career. And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of bringing in players who are past their best. They stay for a couple of years. They get paid a ridiculous amount of money, and then they leave on a free transfer. So I am really excited that we're bringing through these new players. I know they're a risk. I know people say, "Oh, what if they flop? What if they don't do well?" Blah blah blah. But I do think it's positive that the people we're targeting are younger profile people. Someone in the chat saying, "Is the Mason Greenwood Hoyland deal confirmed?" No, it's not confirmed at this point. At the moment, Manchester United are talking with Atalanta about the structure of the deal. Okay, so at the moment, Rasmus Hoyland to Manchester United is not confirmed. They're currently negotiating the structure of the deal. So that is the payment terms, how much they get up front, etc., etc. And Mason Greenwood has been talked about as part of that deal. Manchester United have suggested that he goes to Atalanta, and Atalanta would like Mason Greenwood. So I think if the Rasmus deal does happen, then Mason Greenwood will go. That's kind of the gist of it. And I do think the Rasmus Hoyland deal will happen. I don't think it will be in the next 24 hours. I think it might take a few days or weeks, but I do think that he will go to Atalanta. So that is really positive. Right, let's read out a few live chats quickly. So Anthony says Dean Henderson was in training yesterday. Suggestion speculates that Ten Hag wants him to compete with Onana for number one. I completely disagree with you. Yes, Dean Henderson is back at training, but ultimately he's a Manchester United player. He has to come back at training. He does. I mean, people like Fred, McTominay, Brandon Williams, Alex Telles, Eric Bailly, all of these people are back at training, but that doesn't mean they're going to be here next season. If you have a contract at Manchester United, you're expected to come back for pre-season training. It doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to be playing next season. All of the reports have said, Manchester Evening News, The Athletic, etc., have all said that Dean Henderson is waiting to move to Nottingham Forest and Manchester United are waiting for the resolution of the Onana situation. So I think as soon as the Onana deal is done, I do think that Dean Henderson will leave the club. I do. He won't still be here, guys. He won't. There's no way. There's no way Dean Henderson will be at the club next summer unless the Onana deal fell through. So yeah, I think we've just got to wait until Onana is a here we go and he's signed. Once Onana is signed, I believe that Dean Henderson will be sold. The fee for for Dean Henderson is believed to be £30 million to Nottingham Forest, which I think is incredible. I'm really, really happy with that. Really, really excited. £30 million, sell Dean Henderson to Nottingham Forest. I mean, that means that we've only spent 10 million technically on Onana, because Onana's going to be 40 plus 5 in add-on. So if we sell Dean for 30, then net spend, we've technically only spent 10 million on Onana, which is amazing. That's such great business. When you think that Dean Henderson is a complete outcast, everybody wants him out of the club, he's disrespected. Someone's saying he's still injured. I don't think Henderson is still injured. I don't. I think he's back training. I've seen pictures of him training, so I don't think Dean Henderson is injured. I think he did make a faster recovery than what was initially expected. Right, let's have a quick look. Right, we're 30 subscribers away from 3,000 subscribers, guys. So let's try and hit that by the end of the video. Do subscribe if you're new and hit the notification bell. All right, this is a good question that I'm going to ask for everybody in the chat. So somebody in the chat says, Gonzalo Ramos or Rasmus Hoyland? That's a great question. I will answer that. Let me know in the live chat who you would prefer, Rasmus Hoyland or Gonzalo Ramos. Oh, that's really hard. I did say Gonzalo Ramos before when we spoke about this. I did, but I'm gonna change my stance. People change their opinions. I'm gonna go for Rasmus Hoyland. I'm gonna support the guy. I think Rasmus Hoyland. I think we should just go all out for him now. No more than £50 million, but I think Rasmus Hoyland is the player we need. It's clearly the person that Ten Hag wants at the end of the day, and that's the most important thing. Ten Hag wants Rasmus Hoyland. We've not really been linked to Gonzalo Ramos that much. I mean, to be completely honest with you guys, if we were trying to do a proper transfer window, we should go for both of them. You know? Rasmus Hoyland for 50 and Gonzalo for 60. That's only 110 million. We should be getting both of them. We should. We should be able to sell enough players to bring in enough money to be able to buy both of them, I think. Because I've said from the very beginning, we don't need one striker, we need two. So I do think it's a little bit of a trick question, because I honestly believe we need two strikers. So I'd go and get both of them. I would. I don't think one's enough. Rasmus Hoyland isn't enough on his own, and neither is Gonzalo Ramos. I would honestly go and get both of them this transfer window. But obviously we can't do that. People asking about Frimpong. So there's a story coming out from Plettergoal today, who is obviously a German journalist, really, really good for Bundesliga news. And he is reporting that Manchester United are still interested in Frimpong, and they're waiting for the results of the takeover to potentially make a bid. The fee believed to be around £35 million is what would be required to get Frimpong to Manchester United. Yeah, so, but yeah, in relation to the question, Rasmus Hoyland or Gonzalo Ramos, I'll answer it this way. I think that Gonzalo Ramos is more developed at this current moment. I think he's a better player now, but I do think that Rasmus Hoyland has a higher ceiling. I think he could be a much better player. All right, so based on that, I'm going with Rasmus Hoyland. I am, but I want two strikers. One isn't enough for me. I want I want Rasmus Hoyland and Taremi from Porto. That's who I want, those two. Anybody talking about the takeover, we will speak about it in the second half of the show, okay? I'm trying to go through all of the news and all of the transfer stuff. That's always how we do these shows. I always focus on that stuff first, and then we can talk about the takeover in the second. Otherwise, Otherwise, I just spend every single show talking about the takeover, and it's good to talk about other things, I think, and try and be positive. Otherwise people just, it's not a great way to start your day if you're just talking about, getting frustrated about a takeover, But please be patient, guys. I will speak about it in the second half of the show. So yeah, thank you for your patience. Right, let's read out a few more comments quickly. Let's have a look. Yeah, both are 20 years old, as somebody says. I've got a good question actually for everybody. What league do you think is harder, the Serie A or the Portuguese league? Let me know in the live chat and in the comment section. Do you think the Portuguese league is harder or Serie A? I mean, I would probably say Serie A. I would. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, guys, Rasmus Hoyland didn't actually play that many games last season. He came off the bench a lot. He scored 6 goals in 4 games for Denmark in the European qualifiers. Those are the most recent stats. In his last 4 games in the Euros qualifiers, he's got 6 goals, which I think is really good. Obviously, his Serie A stats aren't amazing, but you have to remember that when you look at stats, they're based on if somebody comes off the bench and all the rest of it. It's not as black and white as saying, oh, he only scored 9 goals. And let's have a look. So he got 13 goals and assists in... Let's have a look at how many minutes it took him. So he played 1,834 minutes, okay? Bear with me here, guys. I'm just looking at Rasmus Hoyland. I mean, when you look at it like that, okay, guys? So, in total, if you actually add up how many minutes Rasmus Hoyland played last season in Serie A, he played a total of 20 games worth of minutes, okay? So Rasmus Hoyland in Serie A played 20 games worth of minutes and he got 13 goals and assists. I mean, that's pretty good, isn't it? That's a goal and assist every other game. I think it's decent. I do. And as people in the chat, most people in the chat are saying that the Italian league is harder. So I don't think, if they were both in the same league and one had scored 5 and one had said 30, I'd obviously say go for the one who scored 30 goals. But the fact that, he's playing in a harder league, and as I just said, he got 13 goals in 20 games, 13 goals and assists in 20 games, and he's just got 6 goals in 4 games for Denmark. I think that's pretty good. I do. He's still very young. It's the player that he wants. And the thing you have to remember, guys, he is a boyhood Manchester United fan. He wants to play for Manchester United. It's his dream. Whereas I don't think Gonzalo Ramos is, And I do think that's important. I know you might think, well, we need good players. I don't care whether they've played for whether they support Manchester United. But I do think with what Ten Hag's building, he does need to have people he trusts. He does need to have people who play for the badge and people who understand the reason why they're at Manchester United and what's expected of them. We've had too many players like Maguire, too many players like Alexis Sanchez, Di Maria, who literally didn't care about Manchester United. They didn't. They come here, they earn ridiculous money, and then they just leave. We need people who are hungry. They understand what it means to be a Manchester United player. There was something I wanted to mention, actually. I saw yesterday that apparently Mason Mount's dad is a Manchester United fan. I didn't realise that. So, yeah, I'm really excited about Mason Mount, guys. I know we've gone a bit derailed here, but after seeing all the behind the scenes clips of him and how he was speaking about being there, honestly, you wouldn't think he'd been at Chelsea since he was 6 years old. Some of the stuff he was saying, he was like, you could tell he was like tearing up about how special it is. And his dad, I think his dad said that he's a Manchester United fan, Mason Mount's dad. So what I'm trying to get at, guys, is we need to be bringing in people who actually want to be at Manchester United and are not just coming for the payday. And I think people like Rasmus Hoyland are like that. They want to come in and they want to work for Ten Hag, As somebody says in the chat, guys, there's nearly 400 people watching, so if all of you smash a like on the video, we'll hit our like target immediately. So go and do that really quickly. It costs no money. And do subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are 20 subscribers away from 3,000, so let's see if we can hit that this video. That would be a massive achievement for this channel, guys. So massive shouts to everybody. Yeah, as I said, I'm super excited about Mason Mount now. I think he's going to do good. I think he's hungry. Yeah, I'm excited. So let's try and be positive. Someone says, how tall is Rasmus Hoyland? I believe he is 6'4". Let me just double check that for you. I don't want to be giving you false information. I believe he's 6'4" though, guys. Let's have a look. If anybody knows in the live chat how tall Rasmus Hoyland is, let me know. He's 6'3". Rasmus Hoyland is 6'3". Honestly, I think he could be an absolute monster. I really do. 6'3". He's physical, but he's fast. He's good on the ball. I think he's going to be good, guys. I do. I really am excited about him. I do just worry about us only having one striker, though. And as I said on a video yesterday, do you think that maybe Marcus Rashford's going to be used as a striker next season? Because I think that could happen. But I am excited. He's 6'3". He's physical. He's young. He's fast. He's got a really good shot. He's going to be good. Let's have a look. Yeah, at the end of the day, guys, the most important thing that Erik ten Hag needs, he needs players who love the club. He doesn't need mercenaries, okay? When I say mercenaries, I mean people who come just for the money, right? We've had people like Sanchez. We've had people like Di Maria. All of these people literally just come for the money. We need people who do not come for the money. And I believe Rasmus Hoyland is someone who's not coming for the money. He's a boyhood Manchester United fan. He loves the club. The same with Onana. He wants to play for Erik ten Hag. He does. You know, that's what we need at the club. And even Mason Mount. At first, guys, when we spoke, I said Mason Mount's coming for the money. It's disgusting. Why are we paying him 250 grand a week? But now I've actually let it sink in. 250 grand a week for Mason Mount. Is that actually that bad? We pay Sancho 350. We pay Harry Maguire 250. So I am feeling positive about it. Mason Mount is a quality player. He's won the Champions League. He was Chelsea's Player of the Year 2 seasons in a row. I don't think we've had our pants pulled down there. I don't. 250 grand a week, I think that's fair. I do. When you think Harry Maguire's on 250 grand a week. So I'm happy about that. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to spread some positivity around this time when there's all this turbulence about the takeover, about what's going to happen, about the future. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to, keep my head up. And I encourage you guys to all do that. I know it's frustrating at times. I really, really do. At the end of the day, as somebody says, as Zakaria says in the chat, Hoyland isn't the finished product yet. We do have to accept that. He's not going to come in and be banging 30 goals every season. I mean, he might do. You never know. But I'm not expecting Hoyland to score 30 goals next season. Let me know in the live chat, actually, how many goals do you expect Rasmus Hoyland to score in the Premier League next season? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know how many goals you think he'll score. I reckon Rasmus Hoyland will get about 15 goals in his first season in the Premier League. Just in the Premier League. 15 goals I'm going with. I think that's realistic because I think he will start most games. I think he'll do well. I really, really do. I think we haven't had a striker for so long. A young striker, and I think he'll do well. But do let me know in the live chat, how many goals do you think Rasmus Hoyland will score for Manchester United in his debut season? I've gone with 15, but do let me know what you guys think, and I will circle back to that in a minute. Welcome, Ali, mate. Hope you're doing well. Ali says 30 plus. Ali's feeling very confident this morning. Right. You've got the classic clickbait news coming in this morning saying that Onana is apartment searching in Manchester, apparently, guys. Apparently Onana is here. Apparently Onana is in Manchester, apartment searching this morning. That's exciting, isn't it? So this is a great question, actually. I'm going to ask this to everybody in the chat. So Rajat has asked, what signing are you most excited about? I'm going to ask that to you guys as well. What signing are you most excited about this summer? I'm going to go with Onana, 100% for me. I'm most excited about Onana. I think he's going to completely change the way we play football. I'm most excited about him. Onana's I know it's not the most glamorous position, a goalkeeper. But yeah, Onana I am most excited about next season. Really, really excited. He's going to completely change the way we play football. It's going to be like a whole new Manchester United, I believe. Honestly, I'm so excited for the season to begin. I really, really am. Right, so there's a bit more on this story coming out from Plettigol this morning. Right, here we go. So, we spoke about Plettigol earlier. So apparently Arsenal and Manchester United are currently monitoring the Frimpong situation. The next step depends on the new owners of Manchester United. Frimpong has not yet decided on what he wants to do. He's considering his options, but he is a key player for Bayern Leverkusen. His price is £35 million. So this is coming out from Plettigol. It was late last night. Obviously, he's very, very close to the German league. He's a reporter for Sky Sports. And he's saying, as I said, that both Arsenal and Manchester United are strongly interested in Jeremy Frimpong, and a fee of around £35 million would be enough to get him to Manchester United. But it does unfortunately depend on the takeover. We will have to wait to see of the outcome of the takeover before we start making any bids for Jeremy Frimpong. We will jump onto the takeover stuff in a minute. I've got a couple of other stories to get through, so do bear with me, and do smash a like on the video, guys, and subscribe if you're new. We're about 10 subscribers away from 3,000 now, so if you haven't subscribed yet, just click the subscription button and yeah, hit the notification bell. Right, let's see what else we have on the agenda before we go back to takeover stuff. Where are we? Right, so we're ultimately just waiting for this here we go from Fabrizio Romano. That's what we're waiting for. Let's have a read. All right, this is a good comment, to be fair. Fred says the best signing will be Sheikh Jassim. I mean, I do agree with you, actually. I do. The best signing for Manchester United this summer is Sheikh Jassim. I changed my answer. It's no longer Onana. It's Sheikh Jassim. It is. Sheikh Jassim is the best signing for Manchester United this summer. Right, let's talk about the takeover now, guys, because I know loads of you in the chat are really excited about it. Smash the like on the video if you want to talk about the takeover, and we will jump straight into it right now. So there's a bit more on the story coming out from, where is it gone? Let me have a quick look. Actually, there's one thing I quickly want to bring up before we jump into the takeover, because I know that will then dominate the rest of the show. Manchester United have made their second signing of the summer. Now, this one's gone under the radar. You're probably thinking, what? Who have we signed? This is a bit of a trick question, so bear with me here, guys. But Manchester United have officially signed their second signing of the summer. Manchester United have signed, they've taken the head doctor from Arsenal. And you're probably thinking, Kieran, why are you bringing this up? I don't care, shut up. But I'm going to talk about it anyway. So this doctor is called Gary O'Driscoll. He's been at Arsenal since 2009. Liverpool tried to get him last summer. Multiple clubs have been trying to get this guy. Answer me this in the live chat whilst you're saying, why are you talking about this rubbish? I don't care. How many injuries did Arsenal get last season? They didn't get many, okay? My point here is, this doctor is one of the best doctors in the Premier League, and Manchester United's injury record is an absolute joke. It is. Martial is injured every single game. He comes on for 10 minutes, he gets injured. People have been saying for so long, whoever these people are who are doing the fitness and the doctors at Manchester United, they're clearly not very good, because our injury table is so busy. I mean, Phil Jones sat in there for like 3 years, didn't he? Anyway, so we've just signed this head of medical services, Gary O'Driscoll, and from what I've been hearing, this is apparently a massive, massive thing. Honestly, guys, you're probably thinking I don't care, Kieran, but this is maybe even bigger than any transfer we can do this summer. This guy has been wanted by Manchester City, by Liverpool. All of these Premier League clubs have been trying to get this Gary O'Driscoll guy out of Arsenal. He's been there since 2009. Apparently, he was a very popular figure at the club. The Edu, Edu, who's the director of football there, said he was very sad that he was leaving and that he was leaving to be closer to his family, blah, blah, blah. But we have officially signed a new head doctor. So I know you're thinking, I don't care, talk about the takeover, but I honestly think this is very, very significant, because Martial's injured all the time. People get injured constantly. So I'm super, super happy about this. Super buzzing. We've got over 500 people watching today, guys. That's absolutely incredible. Everybody give yourself a massive pat on the back for that. As I just said, Manchester United have just signed a new head of doctor. They've taken him from Arsenal. He was been there since 2009. Loads of Premier League clubs have been trying to get him. I'm really, really positive about this, because our medical team has been really, really bad, in my opinion. Martial's injured all the time, etc., etc. Phil Jones was injured for 3 years. So yeah, this is a massive, massive thing, guys. It really, really is. But yeah, we will talk about the takeover now, guys, because I know a lot of you in the chat are excited. And I do hope you appreciate me bringing you these types of news. I don't just want to talk about transfers and stuff. I look at all areas of the club, because things like recruitment, things like scouts, they're just as important as, the coaches. That's where we've gone so badly wrong over the last 18 years. We've had poor recruitment, poor scouts, poor medical teams, etc., etc. All of the stuff behind the doors needs to change at Manchester United, and this is the first example of stuff happening behind the scenes. So it's really, really positive. We've got this new doctor who's going to come in, probably completely revolutionise everything. So yeah, it's really, really positive. He's ultimately going to be Martial's best friend. I'm sure him and Martial have already been sending each other text messages. Martial's probably already got him a bunch of flowers for when he arrives. So let's hope he can fix Martial. I mean, picture this, guys, all right? Imagine if this new doctor comes in, yeah? This new doctor from Arsenal, everybody wants him. He's been there since 2009. Imagine if he just cures Anthony Martial. And we get an Anthony Martial next season who scores 20 goals. Imagine. I mean, that would be incredible. You know? Everybody has just completely written Anthony Martial off. But yeah, I do think it's super important. And if they can get the best out of Anthony Martial, then we're going to be an absolute force next season because he is a good player. He is. Anthony Martial is a talented player. He's just had a really, really bad injury issues over the last kind of year or two, hasn't he? Anyway, guys, let's talk about the takeover now. Yeah, smash the like on the video, guys, if you haven't already, and we will now talk about the takeover, which I know some of you have been patiently waiting for. So thank you for your patience, guys. So where are we? So yeah, we're just looking again at this the article from The Athletic, which I've read in full. You have to pay for The Athletic, which I don't really like, but I did pay for it because I did want to bring this story to you in full. Let me just get it back up again, guys. I seem to have clicked off it. So The Athletic ultimately were reporting that Sheikh Jassim is leading the race for Manchester United. Let me just get the article up again, just so I'm reading it quote for quote. I do apologise that I seem to have lost the article. Give me 1 second. Where's he gone? All right, there he is. So The Athletic were reporting saying that Manchester United, we spoke about this yesterday, but the shareholders who own the 31% of the club are trying to push through the sale to Sheikh Jassim. And they do now believe that Sheikh Jassim is leading the race and that ultimately the deal that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has proposed is ultimately all but out, okay? The reason for that being is because he's only bid for 50% of the club, the other shareholders who own the 31% of the club are threatening legal action against the Glazers and against Sheikh Jassim, against Qatar. Sorry, I'm getting confused here. The shareholders are threatening legal action against Sir Jim and the Glazers if they were to sell to Sir Jim. So effectively at this point, Sir Jim is reportedly almost out of the race, okay? His bid is dead in the water. That's what's been reported multiple times. But all that we're waiting on here is the final sign-off from the Glazers. We're still waiting on that. We're waiting on them to give the green light. I'm just going to read out this bit quote for quote. Right, so yeah, there was a story coming out. Where is he? Give me 1 second, guys. I've just seemed to have lost. Right, here we go. So The Athletic were reporting that although that Sir Jim Ratcliffe thinks that he's still in the race, the issue with his bid is ultimately down to those shareholders who are potentially looking to sue the Glazers and Sir Jim Ratcliffe if they were to sell to him. As I've spoken about this many, many times before, ultimately, the people who own the 31% of Manchester United want to push through the sale to Sheikh Jassim because they will be paid a premium on what their stock is worth. And the article actually goes on to say that Sheikh Jassim's latest bid, his 5th bid, okay, is apparently very, very close, if not the same, as what Sir Jim Ratcliffe offered, okay? Sir Jim Ratcliffe offered $3 billion for 50% of the club, right? Apparently, Sheikh Jassim's offer is now close to that, if not the same. So I think it's all but fair to say that Sheikh Jassim has pretty much offered $6 billion for the club. That's what's being reported, okay? Sir Jim offered $3 billion for 50%, and The Athletic are saying that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's, Sheikh Jassim's latest bid is ultimately worth the same amount as what Sir Jim Ratcliffe was offering. So now the Glazers can't really say no. They can't really say, well, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's offering to pay more, because he's not anymore. Sheikh Jassim is offering to pay all of the club for $6 billion, give or take, and Sir Jim is offering to pay $3 billion for half of the club. So I do think that they've got what they want now, guys. They have to accept it. They have to. There's no other way around it. They need to accept it now. They need to get this deal over the line. We've got to be patient, though, still. I'm hoping that we get some definitive news next week. I really, really am. I'm praying. I've got every bit of my body crossed. I've got my fingers crossed. I've got my toes crossed. I'm hoping that next week we start getting some news, because it's gone on for far too long, guys. It's been nearly 7 or 8 months now, okay? We really, really need to reach a conclusion here. We really, really do. Because it's just so frustrating. As I said to you on loads of different videos, guys, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I really don't. Like, I don't enjoy talking about the takeover. Obviously, I'm happy to do it with you guys because I know that a lot of you want to know what's going on. So I'm happy to give my I'm happy to give my opinions and share the knowledge that I've found on, different websites and stuff. But it is just getting so frustrating. I just want to talk about positivity, about what they're going to bring to the club. Who we're going to sign, when we're going to get a new stadium. All of these things I want to discuss with you guys. It is really, really frustrating. Right, let's have a quick look at a few more chats. People asking, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is effectively out of the race, okay? And as somebody says in the chat, Sheikh Jassim is trying to buy this club off 6 children, okay? I'm calling them children. They are ultimately children, aren't they, the Glazers? He's trying to buy it off 6 people. Imagine how difficult it would be to buy something off 6 people. They've all got their own egos. They've all got their own agendas. One of them wants one thing. The other wants another thing. It must be so difficult and so frustrating. So I do really feel for the guy because he's been in this process the same amount of time as we have, right? And he has done every single thing he can to try and get this over the line. Do subscribe, guys. We are, just a quick one, we're less than 10 away from 3,000. So let's try and hit that by the end of the video. We've got 650 people watching this morning. So massive big ups to everybody. We're going to carry on with the takeover talk for the last 10 minutes or so of the video. So if you do want to keep talking about the takeover, do smash a like on the video and I will keep talking about it for the next 10 minutes and I'll bring you all of the different bits of news. Right, so there's another story coming out here, okay? This came out last night. Right, so Sheikh Jassim's last bid for Manchester United has seemingly given him an advantage in the race to buy the club. The mysterious figure launched a 5th offer for the club over a month ago, and though the Glazers are yet to pick a preferred candidate, a deal appears to be edging towards Sheikh Jassim. The Athletic says Sir Jim Ratcliffe's last bid were enough for the Glazers. Right, sorry, let me just read that back again. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's last bid was enough for the Glazers' shares to give him control of the club, so he wanted 50%. But the report says Sheikh Jassim's 5th and final offer closed the gap to the point that there is not much difference at all to the Glazers in terms of how much they get for the shares. So ultimately, what's being reported here, guys, is that Sheikh Jassim's latest bid closes the gap between what Sir Jim Ratcliffe offered and what he offered. So ultimately, they've offered the same amount of money, but one of them's for the whole of the club and the other's for half of the club. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's positive. It is. I'll read it out again for you. The report says Sheikh Jassim's 5th and final offer has closed the gap to the point that there is now not much difference, if any at all, to the Glazers in terms of how much money they will get for their shares. So ultimately, Sheikh Jassim will give them the same amount of money as what Sir Jim Ratcliffe will, but for all of the club. So he goes, here's 6 for all of the club, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe is offered 3 for half of the club. So I think that's very, very positive. I do. And I think it's going to be very, very difficult for them not to get that one over the line, because we all were concerned about how much Sheikh Jassim was offering, and we were saying, well, just pay the money if you want to pay the money, But it does look like he has fronted the cash and he will pay the 6 billion that they reportedly wanted. But the only question here, guys, is, I've said this on multiple videos before, and I don't want to be negative, but do you think the parameters have changed about how much the Glazers now want? 7 months ago, when the takeover process started, the Glazers wanted 6 billion, okay? It's taken 5 bids from Sheikh Jassim for him to get to 6 billion. 7 months later, five bids later, they finally have the 6 billion that they reportedly want. But the question is, that I want to ask you guys in the live chat to let me know, do you think the Glazers still want 6 billion? Or do you think they now want more? Somebody asking, is this an article today? So this article came out yesterday, Friday, the 7th of July at 8 o'clock. So it's, yeah. It's in the last 24 hours, pretty much, this article. And it says, yeah, again, if anybody missed it, Sheikh Jassim's 5th and final offer has possibly closed the gap to the point that there is now no difference. There is not much difference at all to the Glazers in terms of how much they get for their shares. It is claimed that if the Glazers picked Sheikh Jassim, they'd get their money far sooner than if they went with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. And it is claimed that the last bid has put the Qatari billionaire in front in the race. So it's positive, guys. It is. Yeah, it's the same valuation at the end of the day, isn't it? Sir Jim Ratcliffe offered 3 billion for 50%, and this report is saying that ultimately Sheikh Jassim is now saying, I'll give you the 6 for 100%. But my only concern is, My only concern is, do the Glazers now want more money? Has their expectations changed? Have they now said, oh, we want 7 now, we want 8? You just never know with the Glazers. They're such a greedy bunch of people that anything can happen. So yeah, we've just got to be patient. I know everyone is doing really, really well on this. Everyone is being super patient. I know it's frustrating. As I said to you guys before, I don't enjoy talking about this. I would much rather be talking about something else. And I do like to try and be positive on this channel. I do. You know that. I try and bring you positivity. I try and make you guys feel happy and not sad, because I don't want to spread negativity, and it does just feel a little bit negative at times, the Takeover stuff, because I know how much it means to everybody. I know how emotionally tolling it is on you guys. So I do feel your pain, and you know, we're all in this together. Let's all stay united. I'm praying that these Glazers will leave, and I'm still feeling positive about it. All of the news that's coming out is pointing that Sheikh Jassim is the preferred bidder. He's offered the right amount of money. He's done everything he possibly can, all right? He clearly does want the club so much. He's been such a patient man. So let's just keep our fingers and toes crossed. Ultimately, at the end of the day, guys, as I keep saying, they're dealing with 6 people, right? They're trying to convince 6 people to sell the club. That's so difficult. We know that Joel and Avram want to hang around and try and leech a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, as somebody says in the chat, I mean, obviously this is just an opinion, but they say, if the Athletic are putting this up, then it means Qatar are close, considering how much positivity they spoke about Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I do agree. Like, at the end of the day, guys, all of the UK media have been absolutely, I don't know how to say it without being rude, but have been absolutely... All we've heard from the UK media in the last 7 months is Sir Jim Ratcliffe's great, Qatar are horrible, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's amazing, we love blah blah blah. But now it's changed. There's been a swift movement of change, and we're not hearing anything about Sir Jim Ratcliffe anymore. We're not. The only thing we heard was the other day him doing that interview. Like, all we're hearing about from the UK media, from Fabrizio, from the Athletic, from the BBC, is stuff about Qatar and about how they're reportedly leading the race and all of these types of things. There was a bit of a story come out yesterday about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, which I did want to bring up again. There was quite a few people who were saying, well, how can Sir Jim Ratcliffe buy Manchester United because he owns Nice? And in the current UEFA rules, 2 clubs who are owned by the same person are not allowed to compete in the same competition. So if Manchester United and Nice were in the Europa League, say, as it stands, one of them would not be allowed to compete in the competition. So people were saying, well, how can Sir Jim Ratcliffe buy the club because he owns Nice? What happens if we draw Nice in the Europa League or in the Conference League? But there is another story that came out yesterday that UEFA have changed the rules now. You know, UEFA confirmed that clubs can play in European competitions in the same season after what is being deemed as significant changes to comply with multi-club ownership rules. So ultimately, if someone owns both Manchester City and Arsenal, they can both play in the same competition. So, yeah, it's not a massive one, but it is a boost for Sir Jim Ratcliffe in some ways, even though he's not going to get the club, so it's hypothetical. But it does just mean that, I mean, picture this, guys, actually. Let me just throw this spanner in the works, okay? You know, at the beginning, people were saying, oh, it's not the same owners as PSG, and people were saying, oh, they couldn't do it because we'll both be in the Champions League, right? Say it is actually the same people who own PSG who are trying to buy the club, right? It wouldn't be an issue now because UEFA have just changed the rules. So if it isn't actually Sheikh Jassim who's buying the club, it's Qatar, right? It doesn't make any difference. So it is a positive in some ways. It's a positive for both sides. But I do think it is Sheikh Jassim. I do. I do think he is the one leading the bid. And I do think we will get some definitive news hopefully in the next week. But obviously, I know as much as you guys do. Yeah, so as Fatty Donut says, so with these new rules, ultimately, PSG and Manchester United can have the same owners. And they can then still compete in the Champions League. The only rule is, okay, this is what UEFA have said. The only rule is that the teams can't sell players to each other in the same window or the same year. So Manchester United couldn't buy Mbappe from PSG, or PSG couldn't buy Bruno Fernandes. That's the rule. Because otherwise it creates an unfair competition, because otherwise, in theory, PSG could loan Mbappe to Manchester United. So that's the rules, all right? Teams can compete in the same competition, but they can't sell people to each of their clubs. That's what the rule has become. And the reason they brought this in is because Aston Villa, Brighton and AC Milan all have the same owners. Or they have some of their owners own percentages of each other's clubs, and obviously Brighton and Aston Villa are going to be in Europe next season, so there is a bit of an issue with that. So that has been resolved now. These rules have been brought in. So if it does come out that it's actually PSG buying the club, PSG's owners, right? It doesn't make a difference, guys. We're fine because these rules have been brought in. They've been passed by UEFA. The story was only really focusing on Sir Jim Ratcliffe because we've been told that it's not the same people as PSG buying the club, haven't we? That was what was being reported. But if it does come out that actually the money's coming from the same owners as PSG, there's nothing anybody can do about it. UEFA have confirmed that. So it's very positive, really, in some ways. Let's see how we're doing on the like front, guys. Let's have a quick look. We've smashed our target on the like front, guys. So absolutely massive shouts out to everybody. Big ups for that. We've had over 650 people live watching this show this morning, guys. So honestly, I'm absolutely blown away with that. Very, very positive. It's been a great show so far. We've got 5 minutes left of the video. We have got a few more topics to go through. We're less than 10 subscribers away from 3,000 subscribers now, guys. So if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. Do hit the notification bell. That is a bit of positivity that I just brought to you. Okay, guys? So if it does come out that that the PSG owners are actually the people buying Manchester United, which is what people have feared, isn't it? And said, oh, what happens if it's the PSG owners? What are we going to do? It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't. We're completely fine. Because UEFA have just passed this rule that clubs with the same owner can still play in the same competition. But as I said, the only rule is you can't buy players from each other. So so put it this way, right? So say Manchester United and PSG are in the same competition next year, then Manchester United couldn't buy Mbappe from PSG. That would be banned because they both have the same owner, and it creates an unfair competition if, Manchester United bought Mbappe from PSG. So that's what the rule that's been brought through. But if, when the Premier League start doing all their checks and they say, where's this money coming from, blah, blah, blah. If it does actually then find out it's coming from the Qatari Wealth Fund, which is who own PSG, there's nothing they can do about it. Because UEFA have just passed this rule. So we can both compete in the Champions League. We can both play against each other in the Champions League. But we simply cannot buy their players and they cannot buy our players. So I think it is a positive. I think it is good. Yeah, and as somebody says in the chat, they wouldn't be able to get Rashford either. I do think that it is a separate bid, though. I do think that Sheikh Jassim is buying the club. Where he's got his money from, I don't know. But they have been very clear that it is Sheikh Jassim buying the club, not the Qatari Wealth Fund. So yeah, let's keep an eye on that. Again, guys, Fabrizio Romano has just reported in the last 2 minutes that Kim Min-jae has now passed his medical. Personal terms have been agreed, and a club statement will appear. Sorry, not Kim Min-jae. Sorry, Kang In Lee. Sorry, guys, ignore that. I got completely confused there. We did speak about Kim Min-jae earlier. He's done his medicals at Bayern Munich, so he will become a Bayern Munich player. We will not be signing Kim Min-jae this summer, guys. But as I said, I'm not too bothered about that. I'm fine with that. I think it's okay. Right, let's read out a few more comments quickly. We've been quite quiet on the comments this afternoon, guys, which I do apologise for. There's been so much news to get through, and I do sometimes find that as much as I love the comments, I appreciate you guys' input, but sometimes I get a little bit... Sometimes I get a little bit distracted. It's something I need to learn. Obviously, I'm still very new to this. I've only been doing it for 4 weeks, but occasionally I see comments in the chat and I get a bit distracted and I think the show goes a little bit off the rail. So I've tried to home it in a little bit today and be a little bit more focused, but I do appreciate everybody who's been getting involved today. I really, really do. If you do want to join the members club, or if you want to do a super chat, or if you want to gift a membership, we had somebody in the chat yesterday gift 5 memberships. Absolute legend. If you want to do any of that, you can, of course, just hit the $sign. As I've said to you guys before, all of the money we get from this channel, from super chats, from memberships, is going straight back into this channel. I've said to you guys many times before, this is purely a passion project. I love doing this with you guys. I love the community, and I love the connection we have. I'm not doing this as a business. I've told you guys before. I have a successful business that I do outside of this, that I run myself. So I'm literally just doing this for passion, and I'm completely blown away with the support you guys have shown the channel so far. We're growing so quickly. Got an amazing community. Everybody is so welcoming and so nice. So again, guys, massive shouts to everybody in this community. I honestly do appreciate you, and I can't wait for the future. Hopefully under new owners. Yeah, as Jamie says, there goes the Premier League's investigation out the window. Yeah, completely, absolutely mad, isn't it? I mean, this new change from UEFA is completely. When you get the rival fans saying, "Oh, you've got the same owner as PSG," we'll say, "Unfortunately for you, UEFA have just changed the rules. We're not breaking any rules. It's completely fine." UEFA have just said we can have the same owner as PSG. They have. So, you know, you can just do this to them. Don't mean to be rude, but when those rival fans try and, you know, banter you and say, oh, you've got the same owner as PSG, you're not going to be in the Champions League, you're not going to be able to do this. You can tell them, no. You know, UEFA make the rules. Yeah. We are just hoping to get this here we go for Onana today. By the way, guys, just a quick one. We will be doing the stream. We will be doing a stream at 2 o'clock today. Unfortunately, I cannot do the 6 p.m. stream tonight because I've got my dad down. I haven't seen him for about a year. So I do need to see my dad this evening. As I'm sure you guys appreciate, family is obviously is very important. But there will be a pre-recorded video going live at 6 p.m. And I will be doing another 1 hour, a 1 hour stream this afternoon. So I do apologize to you guys. I know I'm trying to be really, really consistent, but I have to see my dad tonight. So I won't be doing the 6 o'clock stream tonight, the afternoon, for another interactive show like this one. Right, let's see how we're doing. Yeah, it'll be about 2 o'clock for the next 1 hour one, and then it'll be a pre-recorded video at 6 o'clock. So I do apologize for that. I have been trying to do 8 and 6 every single day, which I have been doing, but yeah, as I said, I haven't seen my dad in so long, so I need to spend some time with him, which I'm sure you guys would appreciate. And I do appreciate that, guys, because I know that you guys factor this into your days. I know how it is. And I know it's frustrating when things change. I completely accept that. I do. But yeah, so I do appreciate you guys' understanding on that one. Right, give me 1 second. Right, let's see how we're doing. I'm just going to have a quick look at something. Just going to have a quick sip of water. So there's a few people asking in the chat about Edwin van der Sar. We haven't actually had any news about Edwin yet. Obviously, as I said to you guys, all of our thoughts and prayers are with Edwin van der Sar at the moment and his family. The last thing we saw was that he was in a stable condition. Obviously, if anybody missed it, he was rushed to hospital with a bleed on his brain, I believe. Obviously, yeah, all of our thoughts and prayers are with Edwin van der Sar at the moment. Very, very sad. But as I did say before, it is being said that he's in a stable condition. Obviously, he'll be getting the best possible medical care available. So let's all just stay positive. Let's send positive energy. If you're religious, obviously say a prayer. If you're not, just keep him in your thoughts, guys, because obviously, yeah, it's very, very sad. But yeah, as soon as we get any other news about that, we will talk about it. But yeah, I don't know what happened to my broadband there. It occasionally does just dip out. I do apologize for that. We've got about 5 minutes left of the stream, guys. We've got 5 minutes left. If you haven't liked the video already, there's still over 500 people watching. So if you haven't liked already, please do just... oh, shit. I think I just... let me know if I just ended it. I just clicked... Let me just double check. Oh, no, we're still live, guys. I do apologize. I just clicked the... I just clicked a button and I don't know what happened. But I think we're still live. Let me know if we're still live, guys. Let me know if we're still live. All right, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. It's been an absolutely incredible stream. Massive shouts to everybody who has joined us this morning. We will be back a little bit later on today. Have a lovely day or morning.